Once upon a time, in the beautiful kingdom of Izaga, there lived a handsome young man named Ikenga. He was the only son of Mazio Birika and Nne Olachi. Ikenga had a very friendly personality and a natural talent for charming the ladies, which made him incredibly popular among the women in the village. His ability to flirt with ease attracted the attention of every maiden in Izaga and the neighboring villages. Despite his reputation, Ikenga's charm kept attracting the women in the village. One of them was Oge, who everyone thought was very pretty. She had been dating Ikenga for 5 years. Oge, who was once a gentle soul, grew insecure day by day due to the numerous tales of Ikenga's escapades. Oge knew Ikenga had a problem. He didn't know when to stop flirting with other girls. He would talk and laugh with them, not realizing it made Oge sad. Sometimes, he even let other ladies get too close to him, not thinking about how it would hurt Oge's feelings. Even when Oge told him she was upset, Ikenga didn't seem to understand how much it was hurting her. He was too focused on the attention he got from other girls to see how much he was upsetting her. Oge really loved Ikenga and was even labeled Crazy Oge because she fought with every other girl who liked Ikenga. Even with all the fights, Oge and Ikenga seemed like they were meant to be together. Their toxicity and drama became the talk of the village as many ladies would purposely flirt with Ikenga just to trigger Oge. Years down the line, and Oge found herself emotionally drained, having to fend off Ikenga's many admirers. His indifference only made things worse. Why Ikem? What does she have that I don't? Oge would ask while crying, seeking for validation. Ikenga would remain silent, watching her self-destruct before him. On several occasions, he would threaten to leave, reducing Oge to begging on her knees, pleading for him to stay. Oge, you're too emotional. Can't I have friends if I have a girlfriend? Ikenga would ask nonchalantly. Oge, please, we're not married. I feel suffocated. Their arguments always ended up in Oge begging Ikenga not to leave her. Each betrayal shrank Oge's confidence. She doubted her worthiness of holding Ikenga's heart. She had invested so much of herself into their relationship. The thought of it ending killed her inside. She was unable to bear seeing Ikenga with another woman. The once reserved personality turned into raging anger and insecurities. Meanwhile, Ikenga enjoyed the power he felt seeing Oge's loyalty and devotion to their relationship. The village was full of gossip about their troubled relationship and saw it as entertainment. Some felt sorry for Oge, while others blamed Ikenga for being heartless. How can such a beautiful girl be this insecure? Can't she tell he doesn't value or love her? Some would say. I think she's just obsessed, some would add. On several occasions, Oge's mom had heard these whispers, which sent great amount of pain and anger down her spine. But Oge remained hopeful that one day Ikenga would change. Even though several suitors liked her, she had turned them down. She held on to the belief that Ikenga would change. Every morning, like clockwork, Oge would wake up, go to Ikenga's house. She took on the role of caretaker without hesitation. She would cook, she would clean, and she would tend to Ikenga and his family's needs. She would even go to market for them. She saw it as a way to show her commitment and skills to his family. Oge's sole focus stayed on Ikenga. She ignored the whispers and judgments of others. Despite her parents' growing concerns for her, Oge remained devoted to Ikenga. Her father was desperate to protect his daughter. He even chased Ikenga one day with a gun. But much to their dismay, Oge chose to stand by Ikenga's side. Papa, what is it? What has he done? Leave him. Papa, if Ikenga should leave, I would also leave. Except you don't want to see your daughter anymore. Ikenga, on the other hand, knowing the right words to say, will manage to win Oge back with a simple apology or a clever excuse. Oge, blinded by love and a sense of loyalty, couldn't resist returning to him time and time again. But fate took an unexpected turn when Ikenga caught the eye of the princess of Izaga. Ikenga, fearing to lose the affection from the princess, so he ended things with Oge to be with Princess Olako. This left Oge heartbroken and alone. Oge, you know you and I were very toxic. This relationship cannot work. And maybe there's something out there for me. I feel like we're just forcing things. If you meet a good guy, marry him. But for me, Princess Olako has my heart right now. This left Oge's heart broken as she stared into the eyes of Ikenga and she knew the man she thought she was in love with was in love with someone else. Months went by. News of Ikenga's engagement to Princess Olako spread. It spread like wildfire across the village. The town crier's voice boomed, carrying the announcement through the streets. As the news echoed, Oge found herself at the center of the stares and whispers. People called her Crazy Oge wherever she went. Mothers cautioning their daughters not to become like her. Oge felt the weight of their judgment. Feeling overwhelmed, Oge retreated to her bed. She sought solace in her pillow. She would let out a loud scream to drown out the voices. Her mother, hearing her daughter in such pain, would cry in her heart. On one of such nights, she entered Oge's hut and hugged her. She comforted Oge with gentle songs. Oge cried as she poured out her heart to her mother. She questioned how everything had gone so wrong after years of loving Ikenga. Mama, wasn't I good enough? 5 years. 5 years I dated Ikem. I lost every bit of respect to win his heart, Mama. Without my Ikem, I am nothing, Mama. My Ike left me your daughter. I may not be a princess, but with every bit of me, I gave to Ikem. Oge's mother sat quietly, nodding her head in agreement to what she was saying, knowing that all her daughter needed at that time was support. She watched as Oge called at the corner of her hut and cried. Oge held onto her chest, as if to hold on to the last fragmented piece of her heart. Her mother assured her that things would be better in the morning. But as months passed, the royal wedding dominated conversations in the village. Ikenga's upcoming marriage to Princess Olako filled the air with excitement. Oge suffered the devastation of abandonment. On the other hand, Ikenga's parents wore proud smiles. Their chests swelled with pride at their son's prestigious alliance with royalty. Ikenga's mother knew the importance of their family's reputation. She advised her son not to waste their chance of nobility. With great care, she had saved up some money to buy exquisite wrappers fit for only a princess. She was determined to keep their family's honor intact. She insisted that Ikenga present those precious gifts to Princess Olako. The thought of her son marrying royalty filled her heart with pride and fulfillment. Ikenga, my son, take these wrappers. The jewelries also. Give them to my darling princess. You should never go to Princess Olako empty-handed. These jewelries were given to me by my mother who also was gifted the same jewelries by her own mother. I have always wanted to pass this to my daughter-in-law. Thank God I won't have to pass these jewelries to Oge, because I'm sure she will not know its worth. Now, you will soon be royalty. You need to act like one. Your father has been busy working to make this house fit to accept our daughter-in-law. Ikenga got up, beaming with smiles, being so eager to impress and honor his betrothed. In excitement, he tucked the precious wrappers under his arm and carried the jewelry. Then he set off to meet Princess Olako. He imagined the joy and admiration on the princess's face upon receiving such thoughtful gifts. On the day of the grand wedding, the village square bustled with excitement. The king's commands dealt a heavy blow to Ikenga's pride. The king's decree rang out. It ordered Ikenga to leave his modest home and live in the royal palace. Furthermore, the king warned his parents not to step foot in the palace uninvited. Ikenga found himself unable to protest, swallowing his pride in silence. In the face of this shame, Ikenga's father, Mazi Obirika, couldn't hold back. But your majesty, may you live forever. Shouldn't it be the other way round? My family and I have worked tirelessly to make our home fit for your daughter. My daughter-in-law, he dared to question, his voice heavy with concern. The king's response was quick. Obirika, right? That's your name. What quality of life do you plan to give the princess of Izaga kingdom? The villagers laughed at Mazi Obirika because he had no response. As Ikenga prepared to leave, his humiliation deepened. He recognized the very wrappers he had given as gifts to Princess Olako. They were now uniforms for the guards who were to escort him home. Ikenga walked to his humble home with a heavy heart and wounded pride. He had to accept the harsh reversal of old roles. On his way home, he walked past a group of foreign hunters, Odinaka and his friends. Odinaka hailed from a neighboring village, where he lived with his father. He often ventured into the forest to hunt rabbits, a delicacy his father adored. One day, he returned from seeing Princess Olako and Ikenga get married. As he and his friends shared tales of the royal wedding, he heard someone crying and singing by the river. Curious, he followed the sound and stumbled upon Oge. Moved by the sorrow in her voice, Odinaka couldn't resist the urge to listen. Day after day, he returned to the stream, hiding in the bushes to hear Oge's enchanting melodies. He would watch her sit on one of the rocks as she coined her sorrows into melodies. Her rich brown skin glowed in the sunlight. Her long braids framed her face, adding to her allure. But it wasn't her appearance that captivated Odinaka. Oge had a serene innocence. It fascinated him. He had never seen it before. Her calmness amidst despair intrigued him, drawing him in with a strong pull. With each day, Odinaka found himself more intrigued by Oge. He yearned to unravel the mysteries that surrounded her. Oge's melodic voice resonated with Odinaka's heart, stirring emotions that he had never known before. He made a promise to himself to approach her, but fear held him back. He couldn't shake the thought that a maiden as beautiful as Oge would never give a simple hunter like him a chance. Weeks passed. Despite his longing, Odinaka stayed hidden in the shadows. He couldn't muster the courage to step forward. But one day, as Oge sang by the stream, Odinaka summoned bravery and emerged from the bushes. Startled, Oge instinctively reached out for her pot, ready to flee. "Please don't go. Hear me out, please," Odinaka said, halting her steps. He admitted he had been enchanted by her singing for weeks. Her voice reminded him of his late mother, who used to sing similar songs. As Oge listened to Odinaka's sincere words, she started to feel at ease. "You're not from this village," Oge observed. "No, I'm not. I'm a hunter from Opala Kingdom. With the festive season coming up, my father had asked me to come into Izaga Kingdom to hunt wild rabbits. You know your village is famous for them," he replied, showing her the 2 wild rabbits he had already caught. In that moment, a connection sparked between them. They shared a rare moment of genuine conversation. Ogi admitted that Odinaka was the first person outside her family with whom she has shared such a meaningful exchange. Moved by their shared vulnerability, Odinaka offered to help Ogi carry her pot of water back home. Ogi's parents felt overjoyed when they saw their daughter's newfound happiness. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, Odinaka and Ogi's bond deepened. Odinaka's father even encouraged him to propose to Ogi. He saw the real love that had grown between them. Instead of rushing into things, Odinaka took time to help Ogi, mentally, emotionally, and in every ramification. He reassured her of his unwavering commitment and helped her rebuild her confidence. He took pride in calling her his own and anticipated their meetings each morning by the stream. For Ogi, each encounter with Odinaka felt like a new beginning. It filled her heart with joy and anticipation. Odinaka's face would light up with excitement when he left his beloved. He cherished every moment spent with her. He would stay with her until late in the day before departing, reluctant to leave her side. They found solace and happiness together in each other's presence. Their bond grew stronger every day. Oge began to rediscover herself. She regained the confidence and dignity she had lost. With Odinaka by her side, she blossomed into the maiden she once was. He cherished her and saw her worth. "Oh, I couldn't sleep last night," Odinaka confessed to her during one of his visits. "Why is that?" Oge inquired. "Well, I realized something profound," Odinaka began, taking her hands in his. "I hate being away from you. Every moment spent apart feels like an eternity. And I can't bear the thought of not having you by my side." With a shy smile, he dropped to one knee. "Okay, will you do me the honor of being my partner in this journey called life?" His voice trembling with emotion. "I promise to hunt you the biggest wild rabbits in the forest." Oge smiled, with tears in her eyes and gratitude in her heart, overflowing with love. Odinaka gently drew her close, his eyes reflecting his sincerity. "Marry me, Oge," he asked. His words echoed with hope and devotion. Meanwhile, over at the palace, Ikenga's life took a drastic turn for the worse. Insults and humiliations from the princess and the royal household overwhelmed him. He reached his breaking point and lashed out, striking Princess Olako. His actions landed him in the depths of the royal prison. There, he languished without food or water for 5 agonizing days. The king deemed him unworthy of his daughter and cast him out of the palace. As Ikenga made his way home, remorse filled him for the pain he had caused. He thought about his past wrongs, especially his mistreatment of Oge. He was determined to make amends. He hurried to her compound. He hoped to seek forgiveness and set things right. But on his arrival, Ikenga saw the sight that pierced his heart. Oge and Odinaka's traditional wedding ceremony. The music stopped. Every person waiting for Oge's reaction to Ikenga's presence. "I know there's going to be drama." everyone whispered. As Oge spotted Ikenga, she instinctively let go of Odinaka's hand. With a bittersweet smile, she walked up to Ikenga, who greeted her with open arms. Smiling from cheek to cheek, Oge returned the embrace, then took Ikenga by the arm, leading him towards Odinaka. Now standing before Odinaka, Oge turned to Ikenga. This is my final part of healing. I forgive you, Ikenga. I should thank you for walking away, because if you hadn't, I'd have stayed stuck in misery, stripped of my self-worth. I hold no grudges because now I am made whole. Ikenga stood frozen, his heart pounding with disbelief as he faced Oge's newfound confidence. Never before had she dared to assert herself like this, especially in front of everyone. Oge, my love, it's your Ike. Please, hear me out, he pleaded desperately. We have unfinished business, hoping to salvage what remained of their relationship. But his words seemed to fall on deaf ears as he realized the woman standing before him was no longer the timid Oge he had grown accustomed to. I belong to another Ikenga. She cut him off, her voice firm and unwavering. Her declaration hung heavy in the air, a stark testament of her newfound strength and growth. As Oge turned away, tears streamed down her cheeks. Ikenga felt a rush of regret wash over him. He watched in silence as she struggled to find the right words, her tearful silence speaking volume, echoing the depths of her emotions. In that moment, Ikenga saw the depth of Oge's silent communication with Odinaka. This was a language they once shared. Now, it was directed to someone else. With a heavy heart, he realized the gravity of what he had lost. Oge leaned into Odinaka for a warm embrace. Her silent pledge of love and loyalty to Odinaka spoke volumes and sealed her fate towards healing and a brighter future, leaving Ikenga with nothing but regret for his actions. This tale emphasizes self-worth. We learn the profound lessons of self-worth, forgiveness, and the transformative power of love. Oge's journey highlights the importance of recognizing one's own value and refusing to settle for less than one deserves. Despite enduring years of emotional turmoil and disgrace, Oge ultimately found healing and strength within herself. Her decision to forgive Ikenga and move forward with Odinaka demonstrates the power of forgiveness in releasing the burdens of the past and embracing a brighter future. Additionally, Odinaka's unwavering support and genuine love for Oge shows the transformative impact of healthy, respectful relationships built on mutual trust and understanding. As the Yoruba proverb wisely states, a bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking because its trust is not in the branch but in its wings. The proverb emphasizes the importance of self-reliance and inner strength. Oge's journey reflects these sentiments as she learns to rely on her own resilience and worthiness rather than seeking validation from others like Ikenga. Through her perseverance and newfound self-assurance, Oge emerged stronger, ready to embrace the next chapter of her life with confidence and dignity. Here's some simple advice. Always remember your own value. Don't let anyone make you feel less important. Learn from Oge's story to forgive, but also to recognize when something isn't good for you. Surround yourself with people who make you feel good, like Odinaka did for Oge. Believe in yourself to get through tough times, and forgive to move forward. Finally, trust that you're strong enough to handle anything life throws your way. If you feel touched by this story, please don't forget to comment on what you learned and what you would have done differently. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, bye.